What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everybody. I got a few things to talk about on this week's episode. A lot happened in the world of professional wrestling this week, so I wanna talk about those things as well. But first, I want to talk about some rumors before I get started. Like I do with every episode, every rumor is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. These rumors are, we speculate wildly with these rumors, and until they are proven otherwise, they are just that, rumors. So let's get into it. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez said he was told Chad Gable might actually work some dates with AAA while he's trying to conquer the dark arts of lucha libre. To add to that, the Observer's Brian Alvarez also updated the item he shared about Chad Gable possibly working dates for AAA that apparently won't be happening. Alvarez posted there was a plan involving a luchador mentoring, but it may have fallen through. So, what Chad Gable's actually doing with this whole thing, I don't know. We'll probably learn more about when we watch Raw this Monday. Moving forward, Ricky Stark's debut in NXT rather than on the main roster was a timing issue per Fightful Select, with plans mostly locked in for WrestleMania. NXT is more fluid, which makes it easier for them to slot Starks into their current creative. I believe it's the same thing when it comes to Jordan Grace. I think it's just all timing with these two, with both of them, especially with Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is going to officially sign his NXT contract, which he already did behind the scenes, but they're gonna do a whole television thing for it this Tuesday on NXT, so that'll be exciting to watch him in the middle of the ring as they make that official. And what comes next with that is great, and the fact that they haven't actually said his name, Ricky Starks. They've used the phrase absolute and stuff, but they haven't actually said Ricky Starks. There was a thing that I read that it's possible that Ricky Starks, that they're slashing the name Ricky and just calling him Starks, possibly. But I think we'll learn a lot more, and we'll get a lot of answers to some questions we have Tuesday on NXT. Sources told WrestleVotes that WWE is planning to announce the Superdome in New Orleans as the venue for next year's WrestleMania 42. The announcement is expected to be made before WrestleMania 41 in April. If we all can, I think this is great. I think if we can remember the Superdome in New Orleans for WrestleMania 30, where it was known as YesOmania, and Daniel Bryant won both the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship that night, where he had two matches. The first match was against Triple H to get into that match that was originally Randy Orton versus Batista, and then got to add into a triple threat, and then winning the match, and then having that big moment as he's on the apron of the ring, going yes with the championships, with the pyro, and with the WrestleMania and the sign in the background. That was such a great moment. That was also the same WrestleMania where Brock Lesnar beat the streak of The Undertaker. So for them to come back to the Superdome for WrestleMania 42, I'm looking forward to it, as long as it's true. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure, but we should know very soon when they make that announcement. AEW sources told Dr. Chris Featherstone that talks are progressing between Tony Khan and Ray Phoenix to end Phoenix's tenure with the company. Khan has been advised to put an end to this, and it's expected to be resolved soon. Now, as long as this is true, this is good news as for Ray Phoenix wanting to get out of AEW, especially with everything that he has talked about in the company and how he's been treated. allegedly. So hopefully this also means that as long as Rey Fenix can get out of this contract with AEW as he wants, excuse me, hopefully it means that he ends up joining his brother in WWE on Raw. It'd be great to see if he can join his brother Penta on Raw, and as Penta is flourishing in the early months of his singles career on WWE on Raw, and then for him to show up and then they have him go after tag team gold. That's all good news. I love hearing that. And finally, last rumor, WRKD Wrestling indicates that Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens is planned for WrestleMania 40. Rumor. I really feel like Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is the way that they are going with that. Now, as of now, Sami Zayn isn't cleared to be in a match yet because of the pile driver that Kevin Owens gave Sami Zayn at the end of an episode of Raw. And we heard from Kevin Owens, and we heard from Sami Zayn, and then we also heard from Kevin Owens again as he replied to what Sami Zayn said, and Kevin Owens inviting Sami Zayn to show up at Elimination Chamber to come and get it. So I think Sami Zayn showing up at Elimination Chamber will more than likely happen, but I still feel like a match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, this is something that they both wanted. And I feel like this is something that we're going to get. I don't think it'll be Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41. I think, and I'm really sticking to it until it changes otherwise, obviously. But I really feel and I really believe that Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 41 this year is the way to go, considering 2 years ago at WrestleMania 39, they accomplished the dream together by winning tag team championships in a main event at WrestleMania 39. So for them to run it back, but this time in a match at WrestleMania against each other, full circles of the whole thing. So that's where I believe it's going to go. Randy Orton, I believe, fits into this thing between him and Kevin Owens. Probably after WrestleMania, I want to say. Anyway, so as far as what happened this weekend, what do we have? We had Vengeance Day, NXT Vengeance Day, and on the same day, not the same time, but the same day, on Saturday, we had NXT Vengeance Day and AEW Grand Slam. Now, when it comes to AEW Grand Slam, when you look at how it looked, how it was presented on Max, as far as what it said on Max and what it said on the TNT, they both said Collision, which is a little disappointing for them on that point, because they should have called it what it was, which was Grand Slam, but is what it is. So I want to talk about Vengeance Day. I want to recap Vengeance Day real quick, and I want to recap AEW Grand Slam real quick as well. So let's get into it. First match of the night on NXT Vengeance Day was Stephanie Vaquero versus Fallon Henley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. I love this match. This was a good first opening match, and even with the help of Fatal Influence, Vaquero won the match to become the new NXT North American champion, NXT Women's North American champion. She did it. She also made history at the same time by becoming the first South American born champion in WWE. So winning her first championship in WWE, in NXT, and making history as the firstborn South American champion in WWE. Great history. Love that she won. Up next was for the NXT Tag Team Championships, where it was Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Josh Briggs and Yokita. I believe I said that. I believe I said that right. They had, and I gotta tell you, this was an unstoppable tag team match. There was, what do we had? We had some high flying moves. We're in and out of the ring. We're hitting hard. It was a great tag team match. Great tag team match. Nathan Frazier and Axiom retain their tag team champions. They are an unstoppable tag team. From TNA to NXT, they go on they're running back and forth on both brands, defending the championship. And yes, it was good. I would love to see them take the NXT tag team championships and have matches with some of the tag teams on the main roster. That would be fun to see. So, but where they go from here, Stand and Deliver is where they go from here. So, and who they will face at Stand and Deliver, I do not know. But after the match, we had a mysterious group that were teased throughout the last couple of weeks on NXT. And they come running in and they go after both tag teams. They just leave it like it was like a car wreck. I have no idea who this tag team is. They still remain mysterious as far as who they are. But as they look and how they had the mask on and stuff, it really did kind of look like a rebooted version of the Shield in a way. But that's for us to leave it to our imaginations and how it looks for now. But I'm sure we'll get more answers to these questions we have about this team, hopefully this Tuesday on NXT. Up next was Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe in a strap match. Excuse me. Now, even before the bell rang, Eddie Thorpe goes on the attack and just goes on the attack on Trick Williams and just goes after him instantly. They take it even outside to the ring, and then Trick Williams attacks back, gets Eddie Thorpe back in the ring. Eddie Thorpe is down. Trick Williams puts the strap on him. Trick Williams gets the strap on Eddie Thorpe. Ref rings the bell. The match is on. And it was a great match from start to finish. The way that leather just hits on that skin and you just hit it. It was just, you feel it. You can feel it yourselves. Now, the way this match was going, it just really felt like it really felt like Trick Thorpe was gonna get this match and put it into this Eddie Thorpe thing, and then give Eddie Thorpe another thing to possibly complain about. But to everyone's surprise, either at home and also in the arena itself, Eddie Thorpe won. Eddie Thorpe got the win in this strap match. I think he remains undefeated in strap matches, because if we remember if I'm correct, the last strap match that Eddie Thorpe had was in 2023 and was against Dijak. And he won that match as well. So I believe Eddie Thorpe remains undefeated in strap matches, because he won this strap match. He shocks the entire NXT universe with this win. And I love Eddie Thorpe as a heel. It's great to watch, and as he grows, and as that stock grows as him as a heel, so to watch this go and for him to get the win, honestly, when you think about it, it makes sense, and it adds to whatever comes next for Eddie Thorpe. I feel like Eddie Thorpe will definitely have a match at Stand and Deliver, but who will it be against? Who will it be against is really the question. All right, up next was Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. One-on-one match. This Javon Evans went into this match signing the waiver, understanding what could happen in this match. And the second the bell rang in this match, Javon Evans was just like a missile, and he was flying in and out of the ring, and it really felt like, this match really felt like, as much as Ethan Page was getting his licks in, Javon Evans was just a nonstop missile, and it was feeling like Javon Evans was going to get this win. But Ethan Page pulled it out, and he got the win. Evans gave it everything he had. This was his first match back in an NXT ring since what Ethan Page did to him months ago with the chair to his jaw. But Ethan Page gets the win and essentially takes a smile away, because how it ended, Javon Evans' mouth was bleeding again, and he was out. There was nothing. I thought Ethan Page was going to do something else to him after the match was over, but refs came out instantly and went to check on him. So there was nothing else Ethan Page was going to do. He just sat there and smiled, because he knew he took that smile away from, he just took even more of that smile from Javon Evans at the end of that match. All right, next matchup was Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller versus Obafemi in a triple threat match for the NXT Championship. And good match. They were really testing the waters with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, with how at times they were working together as a team, and other times they were working against each other. It's a triple threat. There are no teams. You gotta put that aside, and it's every man for himself in this triple threat match for the NXT Championship. There was a moment in this match where Austin Theory legit had this match won, and just before the ref could count the 3, Grayson Waller pulls the ref out of the win, essentially taking this NXT Championship win away from Austin Theory. And it was good for Obafemi, because he was able to use Austin Theory and Grayson Waller's fighting all the time to his advantage, as he was able to retain his NXT Championship. Now, what's next for Obafemi? Who will Obafemi face at Stand and Deliver? I don't know. It's really the possible. I mean, I feel like it might be Trick Williams again, but Trick Williams lost. It could be Eddie Thorpe who faces him, or it could even be Ethan Page getting a shot at it, or it could be, I don't know, it could be absolute Ricky Starks. I don't know. But at the end of that match, the Mysterious Group comes out once again and just lays out Obafemi. Once again, I'll say these guys look like a rebooted version of The Shield, but we'll learn more. But once again, as I said before, we'll learn more on Tuesday about what's going on with this Mysterious Group, and probably learn the name of this Mysterious Group, and much more. All right, main event time for Vengeance Day. It was Bayley versus Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade and versus Julia. Let me just say, personally, I got Bayley. Bayley. I have a bit of a crush. I've been crushing on Bayley for a while now. But it was great to see Bayley back in NXT, to have this match and to possibly try to make a little history in her legendary career by trying to win the NXT Women's Championship, and then bringing that NXT Championship back to Raw, going to the Elimination Chamber. But granted, this was a great Fatal 4-Way match. It was a battle. But Julia retained her NXT Women's Championship, which is great news, because now she'll take this championship and have and face whoever she will face at Stand and Deliver. Not a total loss for Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne Perez will have a qualifying match, a qualifying Elimination Chamber match. So her start in the main roster is kind of already effectively beginning now. And I feel like once we get past whatever happens, whether she qualifies or not, once we get past Stand and Deliver, I feel like it's only I feel like after Stand Deliver, Roxanne Perez will make her venture to the main roster on either Raw or SmackDown. I personally hope it is SmackDown. But if they're looking to still tell a story, a rivalry between Roxanne Perez and Bayley, then Roxanne Perez is going to Raw. But the match, so the end of NXT, you got both Stephanie Vicure and Julia standing in the ring, holding their championships up, which was a great moment. It had kind of a, I want to say it had an Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit feel to it, where at the end of that WrestleMania, they were both holding their championships high. Chris Benoit was holding the World Heavyweight Championship, and Eddie Guerrero was holding the WWE Championship. And there was this moment where they both, knowing where they both started from and came from to enter into WWE and to win World Championships. It was a beautiful moment at that WrestleMania. It was a really good moment for the two of them, for Stephanie Vicure and for Julia, knowing where they both came from and where they started to, and the history they have together, and for them to be in NXT, part of WWE, and to be winning the championships that they have won. So that was a great moment. And then sirens go off and enters Jordynne Grace. She's got on that We Are NXT t-shirt. It's a great feeling, yep. She's no longer here. She's no longer here as part of TNA. She's here as a WWE superstar. She's in NXT. She's looking at the NXT Women's North American Championship and the NXT Championship, and she's like, I'm coming for these. Watch out, I'm here now. It was great moment as the three of them were standing there, and what comes next for Jordynne Grace with her time in NXT. Whatever championship she goes after, I'm good. I don't think it matters, because it's going to be a good match either way. I personally want her to go more for the NXT championship at Stand and Deliver, but whoever she decides to go after next, it'll be a match. It'll be a championship match, and it will be at Stand and Deliver. All right. Up next was AEW Grand Slam. It was a special edition of Collision, basically. And before I get talking about the matches, I want to say that AEW Grand Slam was a missed opportunity to go live exclusively on Max. AEW, Tony Khan could have gone live on Max, and the fans professional wrestling and of AEW they would have, if it was an exclusive that was live, they would have, no doubt, they would have gotten up early, thrown on Max, for those who also are subscribers to Max, and watched a live edition of AEW Grand Slam. But they didn't. It didn't go live. They could have done that. They could have gone live with it and then shown, and then you would have the replay for those who didn't watch it live on Max. And then later on, after the All-Star game was done, you could have shown the replay on TNT for those who don't have Max. So missed opportunity around the board. Anyway, so let me go ahead and let me recap a little bit of what AEW Grand Slam was. So first match of the night was Takasha and Fletch versus Omega and Will Ospreay, and this tag team match. The crowd was popping for this match. You had big moves. We had some high flying moves. We had near falls. We had chanting. This was awesome. The crowd was fully invested in this match. And it ends with Omega and Ospreay getting the win. It was a great tag team match. And what comes next after the match, backstage, Omega is challenging Takesha for his championship, and Ospreay wants Fletcher one more time. And it sounds like these are two matches that will happen at Revolution in March. Up next was Harley Cameron versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. I love this match. I have really become a fan of Harley Cameron over the last couple of months as I've been watching her. She has been getting better, not only on the mic, but in the ring. Her wrestling skills has only been getting better. Her stock has been slowly going up with each match that she has. She's very entertaining, and I've been enjoying watching her, what she's been doing in and out of the ring. And Mercedes Moné ended up winning this match. She retained this match. But when it comes to this match, this was another missed opportunity for AEW, because I feel like Harley Quinn should have won this match. Harley Quinn should have been the one to defeat Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. Not just because we're in Australia and it's her hometown, but because I feel like as Harley Quinn has been getting this push as of late and she's been getting this build, I feel like Harley Quinn stock and build and her being built up and pushed would have added so much had she had won the TBS Championship, and it would have done so much for her, because she is definitely she is someone that has really been beloved by the fans and has really been taken in by the fans. So I feel like that's why I feel like it's a big missed opportunity, because this for Harley Cameron, this would have been such an accomplishment for her to have to win this championship. And for AEW to give her such a big push and say, we believe in you with this TBS championship, fly high with it. But they didn't. But Mercedes Moné retained. But regardless, Harley Quinn losing, I still feel like her stock as a professional wrestler only goes up. This is one of those hard blows for her, but she'll pick herself up and she'll feel what she needed to feel, and she'll go back to it. But I really believe in Harley Cameron, and look forward to what happens next for her. Hopefully it only keeps going up. Up next was Adam Copeland and Jay White versus the Death Riders in a Brisbane Brawl match. This match was what you expected it to be. It was in the ring, it was out of the ring, it was in the crowd, there were tables, there were chairs, there were even chairs with barbed wire wrapped around it. It was chaotic. Oh, by the way, Death Riders won this match by submission. Jon Moxley choked out Adam Copeland, which what I learned was he actually passed out basically from this match. Because Copeland refused to tap out. He did not tap out. He got choked out. After the match was over, the crowd were booing. They were chanting bullshit. But this match was just a stepping stone to what comes next, because what comes next is Adam Copeland versus Jon Moxley at Revolution for the AEW Championship. And as cool as it would be to see, as great as it would see to see Adam Copeland get this essentially probably last world championship win in a wrestling promotion, I think Jon Moxley is just gonna retain. But it is possible that in a match like this, we might see a Daniel Bryanson return. Bryan Danielson return to this match to get a little revenge on Jon Moxley for what he did to him. Don't know, but I'm looking for. But as far as this tag team match goes, it was what we expected. It was a good tag match. Copeland versus Moxley at Revolution. I feel it. It feels like it's gonna be a good match. Up next was Buddy Murphy versus Okada, the Rainmaker, for the AEW Continental Championship. This was a good match as well. A lot of these matches tonight were good. Okada retains. No surprise on Buddy Murphy's part about what he can do in the ring, and what he did in this ring against Okada was good, and it was entertaining. Up next was the main event: Mariah May versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm ended up winning the AEW Championship. Now, here's what I will say about this match. I feel like this is one of those missed opportunities. Now, there are two ways I could have seen this rivalry between Mariah May and Toni Storm going. The first one is you keep Mariah May and Toni Storm away from each other until All In. Once you get to All In, you have that rematch at All In, Mariah May versus Toni Storm, AEW Championship. That is where you go full circle with it, and you have Toni Storm win there, and you have Toni Storm do to Mariah May what Mariah May did to Toni Storm at last year's All In to really close it out and give Mariah May what Toni Storm knows she deserves. Now, that's one way you could have gone. Now, the other way is how they did it was first match this year against each other, Mariah May versus Toni Storm. It happens at Grand Slam, but the difference is Mariah May ends up winning this match, and then that's it for Toni Storm for a while, and they go their separate ways. Mariah May's stock as a heel champion continues to grow and gets into a position where she feels unbeatable, and then same thing for Toni Storm is you build her up as this baby face, and she keeps winning matches, and you put Toni Storm in a position where she gets another opportunity, be it through a eliminator match or a qualifying match, however, but you get Toni Storm back into a position at All In where it's Mariah May versus Toni Storm one more time for the AEW Championship, and it's at All In, which All In has basically really become AEW's WrestleMania, basically. But you have this moment there, whether it's in a main event or in whatever place you want to put this match. But you have Mariah May versus Toni Storm at All In for this championship one more time. And Mariah May is feeling invincible and unbeatable as the champion. And you have this great match with plenty of time because it's on pay-per-view. And then you get to this match, you have this match, and that is where Toni Storm re-wins the AEW Championship. That is where you have that match, this big match between the two, and then have Toni Storm do everything that Mariah May did to her at last year's All In, and it's really full circle, and you close the chapter of that book, and then whatever happens to Mariah May after All In is what they decide to do next, and Toni Storm holding the championship, moving forward, challengers come at me kind of thing. That's how I feel like how that rivalry should have gone. Now, it could still go that way, and they just revisit them again at All In, or they just do completely something different. But I feel like when it comes to Mariah May and Toni Storm with that rivalry, I feel like that's how it should have gone. But overall, Grand Slam was what it was. It was really a special presentation of Collision. Missed opportunities on AEW and on Tony Khan's part when it comes to showing AEW Live how they could have exclusively on Max, then having the replay all throughout, and then having a replay for people to watch anytime throughout the day. And then for those who don't have Max, they could have they show the replay after NBA All-Star game. Missed opportunity for Harley Cameron to win the TBS championship. I really feel would have done wonders for her professional wrestling career and stock as a professional wrestler. And yeah, that'll do it for that. For that. So overall, Grand Slam, AEW Grand Slam, it was okay. It was good. It was what it was. It was basically like an episode of Collision, but for the most part, almost just about every championship was on the line, and it had a bit of a pay-per-view feel to it, but not quite. But before I go, I want to take a quick moment. I want to talk about Britt Baker, because we haven't seen Britt Baker on TV for a while. it has been a good while. She's not injured. They're just not using her. And I just want to say that whatever is happening between Britt Baker, Tony Khan, AEW, whatever actually going on, minus what has been said on the dirt sheets, take that away. Whatever is actually going on between Britt Baker, Tony Khan, and the company, I hope that it eventually gets resolved and it gets worked out. And if she ends up getting released from AEW, I hope selfishly she ends up coming to WWE, because I can see the matches that Britt Baker can have in WWE are endless, because honestly, and some might agree with me and some won't, but I feel like when it comes to the women's roster in WWE, be it NXT, be it SmackDown, be it Raw, it's one of, if not the best women's roster in professional wrestling. And taking Britt Baker and putting her on a women's roster on NXT, on Raw, or on SmackDown adds to that roster, adds value to that roster, putting her in there, because the matches she can have with the women in the NXT locker room, in the Raw locker room, and in the SmackDown locker room, there are great stories to be told. There are great matches to be had. There are championships for Britt Baker that she can win across all three brands. And if things happen the way they happen with Britt Baker, and it gets worked out with her in AEW and she gets released, I hope she ends up going to WWE, because the brands on WWE she could go on and the matches she can have are exciting to think about. And I hope it ends up going that way. But anyway, that'll do it for this week of Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go ahead and subscribe, so you can keep up when all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors drop. Go ahead and hit a like. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode. And until in the meantime, y'all take care of yourselves. Keep your head up. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.